All right, so today we're going to really do a deep dive into occultism.
Oh, cool.
But not just like a basic overview.
Okay.
Because we know our listeners are familiar with the spiritual seek.
Right.
And have read those articles.
Yeah.
So think of this as like Occultism 201.
I like it.
Where we unpack some of the more subtle details.
Yeah, you know what fascinates me is how occultism, this thirst for hidden knowledge, it keeps popping up through history.
Yeah.
It's like a shadow companion to mainstream thought, always kind of pushing the boundaries.
Exactly like that quote. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy.
Oh, yeah, I love that one.
So let's explore those more things, starting way back with ancient Egypt.
Okay.
Everyone knows about the pyramids and pharaohs, but what about the mystery schools?
Right.
And those potent symbols like the Ankh and the Eye of Horus.
Yeah, those symbols weren't just for decoration. They were, and still are, tools to connect with these deeper forces. The Ankh representing life, or the Eye of Horus, protection and power. Those remind us that occultism is really all about symbolism.
Like they were keys to unlock a hidden world.
Exactly.
But then we move to the Greco-Roman period.
Okay.
And philosophers like Plato and Aristotle, they're wrestling with this idea of logos.
Yeah.
This divine reason underpinning the universe.
So how did that shape occultism?
That is the question.
Well, that's where we get Hermeticism entering the picture.
Okay.
Hermes Trismegistus, who's this legendary figure
Right.
bridging the divine and human worlds. He is credited with the Corpus Hermeticum, which is this collection of texts that laid the foundation for Hermeticism.
As above, so below.
Exactly. That's the famous saying, right?
Yeah.
That encapsulates the whole idea.
That by understanding the celestial, we unlock the secrets of the earthly.
Precisely.
The microcosm and the macrocosm.
I love that.
Makes you wonder, by just understanding ourselves, we can unlock the mysteries of the universe.
Right.
But then, with the rise of Christianity in the Middle Ages, things went underground a little bit.
Right.
How did occultism survive?
Well, it's interesting how it adapted.
Okay.
Like alchemy became super popular.
But instead of just turning lead into gold?
Yeah, it was more than that.
What was it about?
Think about spiritual transformation.
Okay.
Paracelsus said, the alchemist does not seek gold. He seeks the transformation of the soul.
Wow, that's a good one.
Right?
It really challenges those preconceived notions about alchemy.
It does.
But speaking of transformation, what about the Philosopher's Stone?
Oh, yeah.
It's not just about wealth.
No, it's not about getting rich.
It's something much more profound.
Exactly. It symbolizes enlightenment.
Okay.
Reaching a higher state of being.
Like the culmination of that alchemical process.
Literally and metaphorically.
And the Middle Ages also saw Kabbalah flourishing.
Yes.
The Jewish mystical tradition with its intricate system of the Sephirot and the Tree of Life.
Adding another layer to occult thought.
It's fascinating how these threads intertwine.
Yeah.
And we hit the Renaissance.
Okay.
Rediscovering classical knowledge.
Big time.
How did that impact occultism?
Oh, for sure.
Were figures like Giovanni Pico del Mirandola and Marsilio Ficino just bookworms, or was there something more?
They were way more than just bookworms.
Okay.
They were obsessed with harnessing the power of the human mind.
Interesting.
To unlock its divine potential.
So they saw humanity as this bridge between the earthly and the celestial.
Yeah, capable of achieving great things.
That we hold within us the keys to unlock the secrets of the universe.
I love that.
And speaking of keys, this brings us to symbols.
Okay.
A cornerstone of occultism.
For sure.
Why are symbols so important?
Well, symbols are more than just pretty pictures.
Okay.
They're like this bridge between the conscious and the unconscious mind.
They tap into those archetypes.
Exactly.
Those universal patterns of thought and behavior.
But once Carl Jung talked about the collective unconscious.
And what better example of symbolism in action than the tarot?
Oh, yeah.
The major arcana, with its journey from the Fool to World.
It's like a roadmap for spiritual development.
Each card is imbued with so many layers of meaning.
Inviting introspection and reflection.
The Fool represents new beginnings. The Magician symbolizes the power of manifestation.
And the High Priestess embodies intuition.
They all speak to these universal human experiences.
Offering guidance on our journey.
It makes you think about all those hidden connections between different aspects of occultism.
Yeah.
It's not just a collection of disparate practices.
No, it's not.
But a web of interconnected ideas and symbols.
That interconnectedness is key.
It is.
To understanding the depth and complexity of occultism.
For sure.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we're piecing together this giant jigsaw puzzle. And each symbol, each practice, each historical figure adds another piece to the bigger picture.
And it's a puzzle that's been worked on for centuries.
Oh, yeah.
With each generation adding their own interpretations and insights.
For sure.
Speaking of interpretations, one thing that's always intrigued me is the motivation behind occultism.
Right.
Why are people drawn to it?
Yeah.
Is it just a thirst for knowledge and power, like some might say?
I think it's more than that.
Okay.
While that desire to understand and influence the world around us is definitely there, I think there's also this deeper yearning.
For what?
For meaning, for connection with something bigger than ourselves.
Especially in a world that can often feel so chaotic and uncertain.
Yeah, absolutely.
People crave something solid.
Something that resonates with their soul.
And I know the Spiritual Seeks readership is full of seekers.
Oh, yeah.
People who are looking for answers to life's big questions.
They are.
And maybe those answers lie within, which is why introspection and self-discovery are so central to occult practices.
But that quest for self-knowledge can be intertwined with the desire for power, too, right? Think about Aleister Crowley.
Oh, yeah.
And his famous, "Do what thou wilt."
How do we reconcile that with the ethical considerations of spirituality?
It's a good point.
It is.
Crowley's quote is often misunderstood, taken out of context.
So what did he really mean?
It's not about selfish indulgence. It's more about aligning your will with your true purpose, with the divine will.
It's a complex idea.
It is.
It highlights that tension between individual agency
and our connection to something larger.
That's interesting.
It is.
And this brings us to the late 19th and early 20th centuries.
Okay.
When interest in occultism really surged.
Oh, it did.
Figures like Madame Blavatsky and the Theosophical Society really captured the public imagination.
They did.
I remember reading about Blavatsky and her efforts to synthesize various spiritual traditions. Drawing from Eastern philosophies, ancient wisdom, occult practices.
It was a blend of everything.
It was. And then the concept of adepts.
Oh, yeah.
Those spiritually advanced beings guiding humanity added an element of mystery.
Tapping into that idea of hidden masters. And secret knowledge passed down.
Through the ages.
Exactly.
And then we have the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn.
Oh, yes.
Known for their intricate rituals.
And influential members like Aleister Crowley.
And W.B. Yeats.
Speaking of the Golden Dawn.
Yes.
They were really into the ritualistic side of occultism.
So I imagine those rituals, steeped in symbolism and ancient traditions,
served as a way to connect with the unseen world.
It's fascinating how occultism embraces these practices that to outsiders might seem strange or unconventional. But that's part of its allure.
It is.
That willingness to explore the fringes.
Exactly.
But how does that individualistic focus often found in occultism compare to mainstream religions?
That's a key difference.
It is.
Occultism tends to be more individualistic, emphasizing personal exploration, direct experience.
So it's not about dogma.
No.
It's about your own journey.
Yeah, there are communities and shared traditions, of course.
Right.
But the emphasis is on the individual's path.
Which can be both empowering and challenging.
Absolutely.
On one hand, you have the freedom to forge your own path.
But on the other hand, you might not have the same support system
as you would,
or structure that you find in organized religion.
And that individualistic approach can lead to elitism.
Sometimes.
Or a sense of superiority.
It's important to remember.
What's that?
That the pursuit of knowledge and power should be tempered with humility and compassion.
Humility is key.
It is.
Especially when dealing with forces
beyond our full comprehension.
Which brings us to another question.
Okay.
How is the divine perceived in occultism?
It varies depending on the specific tradition or belief system.
Okay.
But pantheism is pretty common.
What's that?
The idea that the divine is intertwined with the universe itself.
So not a separate entity.
No.
But more of an all-encompassing energy.
Yeah, or consciousness.
That permeates everything. It's not about worshiping a deity outside of ourselves.
It's about recognizing the divine spark within.
And connecting with that universal consciousness.
Exactly.
Which leads us to a crucial topic.
Okay.
Risks and cautions.
Oh.
The allure of the forbidden.
Right.
The desire to unlock hidden knowledge
can be very tempting.
But it's not without its dangers.
It's like venturing into uncharted territory.
It is.
Full of wonder and potential.
But also peril.
And the spiritual seeks audience.
Yeah.
Full of people interested in these topics.
They are.
But interest doesn't always equal preparation.
Right.
So what are some of the risks?
Okay.
Well, on a psychological level, there's the risk of obsession, delusion.
Even mental health issues.
Especially if someone isn't grounded.
Or lacks a supportive community.
Exactly.
So it's important to have a solid foundation.
A healthy sense of skepticism.
And a strong support system when exploring these deeper aspects of ourselves. What about the spiritual risks?
There's the danger of invoking entities or energies without proper preparation.
Or understanding.
Exactly.
Think of Dion Fortune's warning.
Oh, yeah.
About mistaking the ego for the self.
Without a clear sense of who we are.
And what we're seeking.
We can easily get lost.
It's the delicate dance. He is seeking knowledge and power.
But also recognizing our limitations.
And the potential consequences.
Yeah. It really is a delicate dance, requiring balance awareness and a healthy dose of respect.
And like any good dance, it helps to know the steps.
True.
So let's move beyond the warnings.
Okay.
And talk about some specific practices.
Right.
What falls under this umbrella of occultism?
Well, we've talked about tarot alchemy and Kabbalah.
Right.
But there's a whole spectrum.
Like what?
Well, astrology, for instance.
Oh, yeah.
Using the positions of celestial bodies to gain insight into human affairs. And then there's ceremonial magic, invoking specific entities or energies through rituals and symbols.
Interesting.
And then there are practices like necromancy.
Necromancy. That's a practice.
Yeah.
That really piques my interest.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
But also seems like one that should be approached
very carefully.
Yeah, with extreme caution.
It's a fine line.
It is.
Between respectfully seeking guidance and opening a door you can't close.
It seems like a recurring theme in occultism is this balance between seeking knowledge and wielding power responsibly.
Yeah, it's not about controlling those forces.
Right.
It's about understanding them.
And working with them.
Exactly.
In a way that benefits ourselves and the world.
It's about personal transformation and spiritual evolution at its core.
Aligning ourselves with the flow of the universe, tapping into that hidden potential.
And becoming the best versions of ourselves.
In that transformation.
Yeah.
That evolution can manifest in so many ways. Some people might experience profound mystical insights.
Right.
Others might develop heightened intuition.
Or creativity.
Or even just a deeper sense of purpose and meaning.
Exactly. It's not a one-size-fits-all path.
It unfolds differently for everyone.
It does.
It makes you wonder how all this has impacted the wider world.
Yeah.
Beyond just those who actively practice occultism.
Well, we see it everywhere.
We do.
Occult themes and symbolism and art, literature, music.
Pop culture.
Pop culture even. It's like... Yeah. These ideas have permeated our collective consciousness.
Even if we don't realize it.
Think about the symbolism in those Gothic cathedrals.
Okay, yeah.
The mystical themes in Shakespeare.
Even alchemical imagery in Renaissance paintings.
Exactly.
It's everywhere.
It is.
And these influences continue today.
Oh, yeah.
The resurgence of interest in tarot.
Astrology, witchcraft, the exploration of esoteric ideas in films and TV shows.
It all points to this enduring fascination with the mysteries of life, death, and the universe.
It's like occultism provides this language.
For what?
For exploring the unexplainable, the things that science and logic can't fully grasp.
A way to connect with those deeper currents of existence.
The hidden forces that shape our lives.
So for those listening who are intrigued by this world, who feel that pull towards the mysteries, what advice would you give them?
I would say the first step is to approach this path with humility and respect.
Occultism isn't a game.
No, it's not.
It's not a quick fix.
It requires dedication.
And discernment.
A willingness to do the inner work.
It's not about seeking power over others.
It's not.
But empowering ourselves.
Expanding our consciousness.
And contributing to the greater good.
Exactly. And remember,
that.
Knowledge is power.
It is.
But it's also a responsibility.
Use it wisely.
Ethically.
With the intention of creating positive change.
Yeah.
And what about resources?
Oh, there are tons out there.
Okay.
Both online and offline.
Any specific recommendations?
Look for reputable authors and teachers.
Okay.
Explore different traditions and practices.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Never be afraid to ask questions.
And trust your intuition.
Oh, that's so important.
If something feels off,
yeah,
steer clear.
Absolutely. Your safety and well-being are paramount.
They are.
And finally, remember that this is a journey, not a destination.
Be patient with yourself. Enjoy the process. And don't be afraid to embrace those mysteries.
Exactly.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
So as we conclude our deep dive into occultism, let's leave our listeners with a thought to ponder. We've explored the history, the philosophy, the practices,
the potential benefits and risks.
But ultimately, occultism is a reflection of ourselves.
Our desires, our fears, our aspirations.
It's a tool for self-discovery and transformation.
A path that leads us back to the core of who we are.
So keep exploring.
Keep questioning.
And keep seeking.
The mysteries are waiting to be unveiled.